Hi, how's it going, resident of Collinwood here? And we're not moved yet, um, which sucks.
Look at on it,
I
gosh.
know. Um, I decided to do a couple video, at least a video for now, and I'm gonna do a video about Silent Hill, the game of Silent Hill, especially one and two, um, and versus Silent Hill the movie, and I've always given the Silent Hill movie a 7, and I'm going to stand by that for now. Now, here's what I like about Silent Hill the movie compared to the games. Okay? They did keep the atmospheric Silent Hill within the frame of the movie. That I love. Um, and I love how the town looked. I love the effects in the movie. Now, and I love the acting. The acting was really good. But to be fair, I think what separates Silent Hill, the games of Silent Hill, and the other games that got made into a movie with those is what really separates it is the characters in Silent Hill. Harry Mason was the first character you were ever introduced to if you played the first Silent Hill like I did. Um, Harry Mason Harry Mason's story and events in Silent Hill are Harry Mason's. They're not someone else's. Um, Same thing with James Sunderland. James Sunderland, who's probably the more notorious of the two. Definitely, if you played Silent Hill 2 because of Pyramid Head and other things. James Sunderland's events in Silent Hill are James Sunderland's. They aren't the same events. Now, the characters look similar in some sense, and many have debated whether they're related, like they're cousins or something. And if you want to have that debate, that's up to you. I'm not here to debate that. I'm here to that those character stories are each their own. And I feel where the reason I can't give the movie more than a 7 is because the girl's story, the woman's story, for a lot of sense, it's a combination of Harry Mason's and James Sunderland's. For example, Sybil Shepherd is from the first game, and if I'm shouting, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, but so Sybil Shepherd, the creatures you meet in Silent Hill, that's Harry Mason's experience. That's his Silent Hill experience. It's not anyone else's. So the woman who was the protagonist in Silent Hill in the Silent Hill movie should have had her own experience. There shouldn't have been a Sybil Shepherd. Now, I'll admit they did a good job how they had her in there. I'm not going to take away that, but to me, she just shouldn't have been there. They that shouldn't have been her experience because that was Harry Mason's experience. James Sunderland had Pyramid Head. He had in Silent Hill the movie they had Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head should not have been there. This girl should have had her own creatures, her own nightmare events of Silent Hill. I feel, is Silent Hill a bad movie? No. If I had to rank video game movies, it would be third on my list. Number one being Mortal Kombat all time because it has not yet been topped. Number two, Daniel Culver, my friend Killenberg. If you're watching, if you have not seen Assassin's Creed, I'm sure you have the movie. Check it out. Really, really good. It's really resembles the game a lot. Um, really well done. The Assassin's Creed movie is number two on my list of best video game adaptation of movies. Is where I would link it. And really, there's only three on my list, and Silent Hill is going to be three. I don't have a top five because I don't. There's not five good movie adaptations that were made out of video games, and if you've watched video game movies, you'll know why that they just haven't done them service much. They've more done them a disservice, and Resident Evil is definitely one they did a disservice to. I won't get into that because Trust me, I've gotten into that quite a bit, and I do not like the Resident Evil movies. Silent Hill, I think why I give it a bit of a break because while I'm not going to give them credit for using two other characters' stories and just basically combining those stories in a lot of ways, there are elements of this girl's journey that are hers. The people being there, more people than there shouldn't have been so many people in that town. I like that aspect they added. We didn't really see, just going off the first two games now, we didn't really see a whole bunch of people within Silent Hill. Yeah, Silent Hill was once a town, and yeah, a bunch of people used to live there, sure. But so I like that element there. That was hers. But a lot of this is a combination of you have Harry Mason's story and you have James Sunderland's story, and they threw those stories together in a lot of ways. I did like the dad in this story a lot, but they just didn't have him enough. That was hers. That was that girl's most definitely. Or you could argue, some say Silent Hill 3 was used in this. It may have been. I'm not real familiar. I've only played bits and pieces of Silent Hill 3. And I more forget about it than I do any of the other games. I just do. Sorry, I don't remember it as well as I do 1 and 2. It's just that's just the legacy of 1 and 2 that you remember them more than you do the rest. I'm not saying those other games were bad. Homecoming was okay. Downpour I liked. But for me, for the movie, just from the movie versus the two games, and that's what I'm more going off of, that Silent Hill, where other movies strayed from the games, Silent Hill did not stray from the game. The movie did not stray. It didn't separate itself. But in some sense, where it endeared itself too much was the character they made, the female protagonist they created, at times wasn't her own character throughout this movie. And that's what I'll say is, if you, I get what they were aiming for. They did not want to not have familiar things within the game, within this movie, for people who played the game. And I appreciate that to a degree, but to another degree, Silent Hill isn't like your other ordinary video game. It's very psychological in every way, shape, and form of its characters. Just like I said in the beginning of this video, something I'll repeat now. If you wanted to do Harry Mason's story, then you should have just did Harry Mason. If you wanted to do James Sunderland's story, then you should have did James Sunderland's. Not combine the two and throw it in with this woman's story, what her somewhat story was. Again, if they would have did that and had her own monsters, then I would have applauded that a lot more. Again, I don't hate this movie. I enjoy it when I watch it, but at the same time, they had all the other right things. Nothing else was wrong other than that. That's the one thing I saw, and I'm like, okay, why? When I saw the woman on the motorcycle, I like how they introduced Sybil Shepherd here. To me, I knew who it was. I said, that's Sybil Shepherd when I first saw her, and I'm just like, okay, why is she here? That's Harry Mason. She shouldn't be there. When I saw a Pyramid Head, I said he shouldn't be there, and that's what I mean. Those, unlike a Resident Evil, a Mortal Kombat, Silent Hill, if you were to create a character for Silent Hill, if you created one or two characters, let's say you had two characters and they both went into Silent Hill, both of them would have completely different experiences, and that's been done in the other Silent Hill games as well. So that's what I would say is, that's where Silent Hill has always separated itself from other games, and it should have definitely separated itself here. Yeah, they had the atmospheric town, they had the creepiness, they had all that, they had that right, and I'll give them a lot of credit. But though too, I have to look at the character they brought and went, man, you really relied on two characters who were so liked story to get this movie over. Now, I don't blame them for doing that, but in the same sense of the concept of what the game always was each character's story was always its own. That was something they shouldn't have did, in my opinion, and that's how I'll end this video. I hope you guys enjoy this. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you again soon.